좀 천천히 드세요.
나 평소보다 천천히 먹는 건데?
더 천천히 드셔도 될 것 같은데.
Hello and welcome back to our channel. We hope you've been doing great and we're glad to be with you here today. We're going to be talking about the Korean culture. I'm sure many of us know about the Korean culture. You know K-pop, K-drama and all, but the K culture is something that maybe people don't really look at. I don't know. So she'll tell us about the K culture. Yep. Okay, the Korean culture is actually very interesting. And if you ever find yourself in Korea, I think that should be the first thing you should research on before going there, because there are a lot of things you need to know about the Korean culture. But for today, we are going to be looking at the things you should do and shouldn't do on the Korean eating table, because it's part of the Korean culture. You say when you go to Rome or when you are in Rome, you have to behave like a Romans. So I believe the culture is something that wherever you find yourself, you should learn to adapt. It's a normal thing, not about it being strange. Everybody or every country has its own culture. So whenever you find yourself in Korea, there are things you should know. For today, we're going to be sticking to the things you should and shouldn't do on a Korean dining table. You should always say, "잘 먹겠습니다." It is the same thing as bon appetit, and it also means like I will eat well. It's just a courtesy of telling the person who gave you the food like, thank you very much for the food and that I will enjoy the food.
다행이다. 잘 먹을게. 맛있게 드세요. 네.
Never start eating your meal before an elder. It is rude. You should wait for them to pick up the spoon first and eat, and then you go with their pace. So I think concerning that, it happens most of the time, and then you, no matter how hungry you are, guys, just chill. Wait for the elder to start, because it's considered rude when you start before the elder. I think it should be like a natural thing, even not necessarily Korea. You have to wait for the elder to start eating, just like a sign of respect. When sitting on a Korean dining table, it is considered polite for you to sit in an upright position. Now, we know that in Korean culture, when they sit down to eat, they sometimes sit on the floor, cross their legs, which is okay because it is their culture. But at the same time, always learn to sit upright. Like your body posture should be straight, because it shows that the person in front of you actually is an elderly person, and then you're showing the person respect. You need to learn to watch your pace when you're eating with people, most especially the elderly people, because you don't want it to look like, number one, if you're too fast, it looks like you're in a hurry or you don't value their time sitting with you eating. And when you're too slow, it's more like you're not enjoying the food. So go with their pace. If they're fast, you can be fast. And if they're slow, kindly take it easy and eat slowly at their pace. No matter how hungry you are, just try as much as possible. When you see like you are eating maybe faster than them, just try as much as possible to sense. When you just look around on the table and then you see that you're probably the only person eating fast, just calm down, try to reduce your pace, and at the same time, when you feel like you are slow, then you have to start rushing the food. Not that you should choke, but at the same time, you have to just like know that time management, how to eat at the same pace as others.
좀 천천히 드세요.
나 평소보다 천천히 먹는 건데?
더 천천히 드셔도 될 것 같은데.
When drinking with an elder on a Korean dining table, it is very necessary that you turn away to drink it. Just put your hands, like you use your other hand to support the hand you're using to receive it, then politely turn away to drink it. It is considered rude for you to drink in front of the elder, but to show that courtesy, just turn away politely before drinking.
어제 어려운 일만 시켜놓고 밥 한 끼 같이 제대로 못했구만.
아닙니다.
덕분에 내가 얼마나 든든하지 몰라.
제가 아직 많이 부족하죠.
이런 자리에선 겸손 안 떨어도 괜찮아. 자.
Never make loud noises when you're chewing, nor make loud noises with your cutleries. Though it might be unintentional, because some people just are used to eating loudly. Exactly. Don't eat like that. It is wrong. And never make noise with your cutleries, like bang, 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 with your plate or your chopsticks or your spoons. It is wrong. Even without it being Korean, it's actually wrong. Close your mouth while eating and chew calmly so that nobody hears the sound of your mouth. Always use your cutleries, not your bare hands. Use your chopsticks or your cutleries while eating, not your bare hands. It is not polite. I think that one should be anywhere in the world for you to use it. Don't now, let's take it down to Africa. There's some kind of foods we use our hands to eat, but this is the 21st century. Nobody uses hands to eat anymore. Use your cutleries. Don't use your bare hands. It is not polite anywhere. You know, some people say they want to enjoy the food and that's why they use their hands. Especially when eating mussels in Africa, or let me narrow it down to Nigeria, people always feel when you use your hands, you know, you're able to enjoy that food. It's wrong. You can just pick up a fork and use to eat. You mustn't necessarily use your hands to enjoy the food. Always put your food bowl on the table. You don't need to lift it up. Yes, we see it in so many Korean dramas. They're eating noodles and then they pick up their bowl and their I don't know, but it is wrong. I'm sure they wouldn't do that when they're eating with like elderly people because they know that it's in their culture, like this is actually wrong. But probably when you're eating alone or when you're eating with someone that is around your age bracket, that is why Koreans love to ask for your age before they probably go deep into the conversation. So they try to like know how they're talking to you so that you don't feel very uncomfortable. So even when you go for like a team dinner, because I think it's a normal culture in Korea, like your work, your colleagues at work, you guys go for a team dinner and then you allow the person, the oldest person, to sit first. So I heard the younger you are, the closer you are to the door. So the oldest person actually sits farther away from the door. And so we should always be cautious of that whenever you find yourself eating with Koreans on a dining table. Never poke around your food with your chopsticks while eating. It's rude. Especially when you have to share dishes with people, because we know in Korea it's their culture, like they like to sit together like as a team to eat. Though it's not really common every part of the world, but we see it in Korea. They love to eat together, and so when you have to start poking your food or you try to shake off the seasoning on the food, it's really not nice. It's not cool. So never do that on a Korean dining table. Not too good. always say "Jam mokosimnida" after eating your food. Not necessarily even in Korean culture, even everywhere down to Africa, you say thank you after eating to whoever served you the food, whoever gave you the food to eat. Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. I enjoyed the meal. So the same applies to the Korean culture. Jam mokosimnida. I enjoyed the food. Thank you. It's a normal thing actually, it's everywhere. You should always have that courtesy to say thank you after every meal, like I enjoyed the food, thank you. It actually has a way of like making the person who offered you the food to feel like you actually enjoyed the food, even if you did not enjoy it. Courtesy demands that you should always say "Jam mokosimnida," which means thank you, I enjoyed the meal. Thank you very much for staying with us till now, and we hope that you have learned the do's and don'ts on the Korean dining table. We all hope to find ourselves in Korea. I hope to live in Korea. Same here. We do. So whenever you find yourself in a Korean eating setting, you should know the things to keep in mind that you should do and shouldn't do, so that you don't look like a strange person. Yeah, they might overlook it like she's a foreigner, he is a foreigner, but it will get to a certain stage, especially when you've stayed for like the first time, second time on the same dining table, you have to eat with a Korean family. They tend to look at you like you should have learned, like you've stayed here for some time. So I think we should all note these things even before you go there. Aside these 10 things that we've listed out here, you should also make your research and find out the things you should do and shouldn't do, because it is part of the Korean culture. And what actually drew us towards Korea, aside the K-drama, was the Korean culture, because it's somehow similar with that of the Nigerian culture, and we love it. So we hope that you've learned a lot today, and also if you have any question concerning what you've watched today, please ask. I will be fine to answer you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please kindly click on the subscribe button below, and also click on the notification bell so that you get notified each time we upload videos. Thanks for watching, and we hope that you keep watching. 사랑해.